My dad's heading down to Tennessee for about a month to help us frame our house. He's perfectly happy to live in a tent the whole time, it's not elder abuse, but for everyone's sake, we decided to build him an outdoor shower as well and a stall for a composting toilet. The first step was leveling out the concrete blocks for the base. So what I'm doing now is adding the drain, or actually the drainage. So I dug this hole, embedded some concrete blocks in there. A bunch of these came with the property, so we have them to use them. So I'm definitely using them for everything I can, but I'd probably want to anyway. So the idea is now to put gravel on top in this section. And then if the gravel fills up with water, it should, as the water flows downhill, it should hit these concrete blocks and give it enough time to soak into the ground on the other side of that. I kept this sort of like a French drain on the side here that's also going to be filled with gravel, and that should help route the excess. So not the main portion, which should all fall in there, but the excess water, so that it doesn't end up dripping out here and soaking this whole area. Now we have it all squared and leveled. We got the corners screwed in here, and we're working on the joists. Gonna do every 18 inches. I know typically you do 16, but just gonna do 18, and because that makes sense with the center joist. Peter's over there cutting them right now. Got this heavy duty, I think it's like 12 or 14 gauge extension wire. What is that called? Extension cord. So we can set up the saw a little bit closer to the build site. Not perfect, but I mean, it's not like we're always going to be building over there. We're actually closer here to the next big build site. So this should be a better setup. So now we have the joists on, and the next step is to do the decking on top. I'm gonna put the decking on, and then I'm gonna put the posts on the corner here. I know that's probably not the most structurally sound thing, but it's not like this really needs to be that crazy strong. I think with the 6 posts in here, toe-nailed, and then those will all be connected together more securely. I was hoping to get these all screwed in before lunch, but the sun came out and we moved out of the shade, and it's like the midday sun in the summer, so I think we're gonna take the lunch break, and if it clouds back up, start again, or maybe wait till it passes over these trees so we get another shadow. But got this part screwed in. Don't look too closely at the screws. They're not in a straight line, which I don't think Peter likes, so he helped me draw a chalk line for this one. So for the back row, so that we hit the stud, because there's a little bit of overhang, we drew a chalk line for that one. You really know that you're maturing when, instead of just letting this go, you go to get the shims. All right, we're zeroing in on getting this wall up. We decided to frame it out a little bit before we put it up towards the back. And then we're gonna, Peter's cutting the 4-footers, 4-foot 2x4s now, so that we can put one of these on the front as a support once we get this back wall up. And then we'll just have it sitting there, not screwed into the deck yet. It's coming along. Took quite some time to level everything out, leveled each individual post, and it involved a little bit of screwing and unscrewing and readjusting, but feeling much better about it now. And Peter's over there cutting some, I don't know what you call it, bracing to stop it from shifting, from doing this. The brain's not working this late, but yeah, that's where it is. Kind of looks like gallows right now. This was the next step in the process. I put these fence slats, dog ear slats on the back here, and it's not bad. They're not super consistent. At the bottom you have this nice diamond pattern, but it gets a little funky as you go up, and there's a little bit of gaps at certain points. I went up to this 2x4. The 2x4 is level, so there's only so much I could do. I was playing around with some of the boards, but at some point you just gotta put them up there. And I'm gonna come back and put whatever they're called, slats or something in there to just block, you know, you don't get any peeping toms out here. I saw a hummingbird earlier, you never know what those creepers are doing. Just kidding, they'll be able to see through the top because it is clear. It's a plastic. Cut these today as well, so those will be going up top at the slope. Still have to put on the sides. I got 8-foot dog ear fence for the side, so I can cut them in half. For the front, so right now at the beginning we're just going to use shower curtains. Later on can frame that out a little bit, make some doors, but time is of the essence right now. We want to get this done before my dad gets down here to help us out, and then he'll have the outdoor shower, the outdoor bathroom, and we'll be good to go. En-suite bathroom. Wow. You can see right here. So, you know, practically right outside your door.
Okay.
Did
we straighten out the Wall Street Journal will be here tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's been weeks since I've updated on the outdoor shower, but we were forced by necessity to finish it. So we put in the water heater here, and it had its own little wand that came out of the hot water section, and we had hung the wand there, and my dad was just using this, and it worked perfectly fine until earlier today. I looked over and I was like, what is falling out of the back of that? Is that sawdust glinting in the sun? Is there some sort of carpenter bee like eating into my wood? But it wasn't sawdust, it was water. Started pouring down the backside. The gasket had failed in the wand. Let me get the brand right there, because honestly I feel like you should shame these companies. Like, the little things like that don't seem like a big deal, but when something's brand new, I kind of think they should work. That's just me. So what we're gonna do is put in the actual shower head that we have. We gotta put in a couple valves. We got show you the back side of this here, coming out of there. Have that is gonna connect into the shower head, the T here to get the inputs from the hot and cold water. And here is Harry putting the finishing touches on his outdoor shower that I promised I would build for him. And we have the clear hot and cold water markers.
Oh, in many settings.
Many settings.
Oh no.
Absurd luxury.
Cave.
And I decided to go, I was trying to go Willy Wonka vibes back here. It might not look exactly as neat as you like it, but you know, I can come back and fix this later if I want, or I can just leave it whimsical. I can just leave it very whimsical. And we have the cold water coming in here. Cold water goes up to the shower here into the hot water heater there. Hot water comes out of that. There's the handles there that can control the hot and the cold water. Comes out there, goes back into this one and into the shower head. So that should all work perfectly fine now. We're not doing style points, we're just doing functionality. And we have a working shower, it looks like.
It's only 93 degrees.
Well, that's the hot water heater's fault, and I actually wasn't involved in that purchase, so.
Well, right.